Right. The next thing that I really want to emphasize in this as part of this program brought to you by KCBME as a privilege of your membership is that we need to really, really be closely attuned to what is happening with the perception of value and how that is shifting from one form to another, especially at this time. So when we look at the perception of value, what I really want to drive home to you and make very clear to you is that the perception of value has been moving from that which is solid, that which has actual value, to that which is nothing at all. In other words, there's kind of a con job, there's kind of a hypnosis that has been taking place in which, like the magician's trick, the magician says, here, take this, and you think you're holding something of value, and he carries on, he says, now open your hand, and there's nothing there. He's conned you, he's diddled you. You know, it's the shell game with the little cups and the pea that are under the cups. The gold in this case, or the real value being the pea, but the player, the master players are moving the cup so fast and doing things you're not recognizing that next thing the gold is gone. And so exactly the same thing has been happening with value, with that which has actually got value. That it started with things that were valuable, gold, silver, salt, cattle, land, and so on. But it's been steadily moving from that which you can hold, which is tangible, to nothing at all. And so we started, for example, by talking about stones. They're heavy, they're bulky, they break. People then looked for other means to transact value, and these had issues too. For example, rice, you would have the issue of it rotting. It has a limited shelf life. Rodents, theft. Then there was gold, which is eternal but heavy, and unfortunately attracts thieves if they know that you're sitting on it. And so the question is, what is the solution? Well, the government is offering us a solution in the form of paper receipts. And the government has said, let us keep your gold safe for you because, hey, you don't want to drag it around, but a receipt you can put in your pocket, right? So what's in your pocket? And so they facilitated through this mechanism modern fiat currency. The US and the global standard locked the paper currency. Paper currency was locked to gold. In other words, the government would buy gold and say, well, we've got so much gold in our vaults, and every dollar is a proportion of the gold in the vault. So if you had a dollar bill, you were buying $1 worth of gold in the government vaults. And so you had a receipt that said you've got actual tangible value. And so in 1792, the US adopted gold as its standard, and global trade became more stable. And the trust in paper was directly tied to the gold reserves, and paper notes were backed by gold. And this represented, that bill you have in your wallet represented a promise to pay the bearer in gold, and it could be traded for coins at banks. Now, there's a book which I'll talk about briefly in the next video called The Creature from Jekyll Island. Well worth getting and reading.